Ready? So here we are outside Southwark Crown Court again. This is day 2. Today, the court case, we had the whole day spent with Chief Inspector Paddy O'Hara, and apparently it appeared during the course of the case today that he was appointed Chief Inspector shortly after the events in Hyde Park on the 24th of April 2021. Now, we're not saying there's any connection to it, but people can decide themselves. So how do you think the case went today? Well, what were your main takeouts from the case?
So the officer who made Chief Inspector O'Hara was responsible for making the command initially to ask a formation of police officers to physically intervene essentially towards a peaceful set of people in the park. His justification was that obviously the coronavirus regulations or advice at the time was the rule of 6, and I think that was his main motivation, to try to disperse people from the park. If we compare that to the events of the day, we had 20,000 people marching through the streets of London.
According to them, it's 20k.
Yeah, according to them. Sorry. I think it was definitely more. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, yeah.
So according to their estimates, it was 20,000 people, but it was a much larger number than the number of people in the park.
Yeah.
And during the day, they didn't have any issue with. And imagine the disruption that is caused on the streets. You're interacting with traffic. You're interacting with you're going to cause a lot more disruption on the streets than in the park. So why did they have so much of an issue with 200 people in a park?
Because it was an easy target, that's why.
Well, exactly.
There's also an element, someone said to me, they'd been on duty since 9.
They just wanted to get off.
They wanted to go home. Having said that, it might have been easier somehow to do, not to go in like that. But it also appears, something that appeared at the very end of the case today, was that although he was in command of the 2 units which went in, his idea was to try and communicate, or at least he claims his idea was to explain one of the 40s, the first 40, and it appears that other officers have been told they were going in there to seize the musical equipment. So what do you make of that sort of contradictory world they're living in?
Complete lack of communication, it seems. It's like, what happened there? Especially when the guy said that he was walking in a different direction from his own officers. It's like, what sort of idiot general is that?
Yeah.
And you get a promotion.
Exactly.
We don't know they're directly connected.
No, but I'm saying after those events where he miscommunicated and he didn't lead his officers in the right manner, he still somehow managed to secure a promotion.
I think the scary thing for me was the fact that he wasn't backing down from the fact, if he just owned up that he'd made a mistake, but he was, barefaced, saying he would do it. He actually said he would do it again.
I do it all again. Yeah. Je ne regrette rien.
Taking into consideration, officers were injured. Where we saw a gash on a police officer's head, and if it wasn't for the police's actions, because they themselves accept that there was no issue, there was no hostility,
right.
Up until the point they started physically intervening.
Yeah.
So any violence that occurred was in response to their actions.
Yeah, exactly.
So for them for the officer to stand on that point and to say he would do it all over again is just foolish. Why would you sacrifice your officers and cause them injury when there was no need to do so? And furthermore, we dispersed. People left anyway within 10 minutes after the incident occurred, for 10-15 minutes, and people left anyway.
Yeah,
after that.
One of the defence barristers was saying exactly this point. Even as the police marched at the people surrounding the band, there still were no bottles being thrown or anything like that. And then when the police had reached the barrier, then the bottles stopped as well. So it wasn't that there was a gang of people desperate to throw bottles, or even bottles at the police in general, because there was other groups of police arrived. Nobody fought against them. So it was the specific actions of those specific people that led to the response. So what do you make of what's happened today then, overall? What do you think? How do you think it did? Are there any other points that you thought God, that's disgusting, or that's good, or
just the fact that he couldn't recognise in hindsight that his actions on the day to lead or command a swarm of officers to intervene towards peaceful people is a mistake, and it resulted in any violence on that day.
Why do you think he would do that? Why do you think someone would?
They're just ego-driven. They can't admit any wrongdoing, and they can't admit that they were mistaken, and they're just stubborn, and they don't want to admit that they were wrong.
It's a sort of bureaucratic mindset, though, isn't it? Because anybody who looks at the videos of it will say, "What the hell are they doing?"
Similar to the mindset. Similar to the mindset yesterday of when the police officer was asked about the scale of missiles being thrown, and instead of admitting that, obviously, in terms of damage from a scooter or a hummus pot, instead of admitting that they are obviously very different in terms of what potential damage they may cause, he twisted it and saying, well, physically they're different, but psychologically it's the same kind of thing. Instead, they just find any response before admitting any wrongdoing or any mistake.
Yeah.
I think what you said earlier about bureaucracy, though, it really hits the nail on the head. As far as I can see, this is what we're up against. The police now is just a bureaucracy with a load of boneheads who haven't got a clue, who go in, knowing that they should arrest someone at some point in the day, and then there's a whole load of form filling in. You see them in there, on the computers, doing all their forms. They're just ticking boxes, and we're just part of this. They've assigned a job to sort out these anti-vaxxers. So the police just go into their sort of bureaucratic mode. Oh, we've got to arrest a few anti-vaxxers and sort
it seemed to me, I mean, I don't know if the evidence today has confirmed or rejected that, but at the time it seems to me that they intentionally attacked that group with the idea that they would get their own back for looking bad about the Sarah Everard events. It seemed to me that this was just, a month or a bit later that they suddenly intervened. So why did they do that? And the newspapers were reporting it as mob attacks police. What do you reckon? It's speculative, but
they had nothing, because it was a completely peaceful march. They were powerless because there was too many of us.
The media couldn't have reported anything negative from the day, so
exactly.
they incited some violence.
That's my inclination. I think
in a negative light.
But then that's the question about the commander of him, because he doesn't seem to have been the person to have done that. Or do you think he might have done that?
No, he's a bronze commander.
Right, exactly.
He goes bronze. He has a silver above him and even a gold above. So it's obviously there's a ladder of command and a hierarchy.
And do you have that? Do you have the command issues from silver and gold? Have they presented them to you or not?
No.
Right.
No. I think it's agreed that the bronze commander was, because he was there present in person. I think they're using him as the kind of main person responsible for a lot of the officers' actions.
Okay.
Right.
Today. New report tomorrow. I might do a bit tonight. Yeah. Let's see you later. Okay. Cheers. Bye.